Hey everybody, R2 here. This video is designed around being an audio experience, so watching the video isn't necessarily worth it, but there are going to be a couple of examples in the video itself where I have effectively broken contact, and if you would like to see it, it'll be there in the video. You suck at breaking contact, and that's okay. Let's work on that. Every Helldiver leaves General Brash's boot camp, a super-Earth bred, trained, and certified managed democracy spreading machine, just as the elected officials of super-Earth intended. Now, Helldiver, while going out in a blaze of glory surrounded by the corpses of your slain enemies is your dream and mine. Unfortunately, however, Super-Earth has deemed our lives too valuable to throw away in a random field surrounded by our enemies for no reason. You will find yourself in a position where you just completed a mission objective and you're surrounded by your enemies. And now you're wondering what to do. Well, General Brash in all of his infinite wisdom has thought of this and he calls it breaking contact. Now, some nerd back on Super Earth from the United Task Force defines breaking contact as deliberately disengaging an active enemy and withdrawing from contact. Now, my Helldiver version of breaking contact is leaving an area by any means necessary, regardless of whether or not the enemy is still alive. Now Helldiver, I know it sounds like retreat, but retreating and breaking contact are two different things. Retreating is what cowards do when they're too scared to fight. Breaking contact is what Helldivers do after they've completed an objective and they need to get to the next one. Now, I can hear the question on your mind. R2, how do break contact? First of all, I know I'm talking to myself, but that's a fantastic question. The enemy needs three things to contact you. The motive, the means, the opportunity. The motive is, congratulations, they hate you, Super Earth, and me. The means, this is war, baby. They came armed, or they came bred with arms to kill you. And opportunity. They just need to see you to have a shot on you. So I've kind of narrowed down breaking contact into 5 steps. Step 1, scan the enemies that are engaging you. And step 2, while you're scanning the enemies, find the area of attack where the enemy is weakest. 3, when needed, fight your way through the enemies at the point where they are the weakest. 4, you want to break line of sight using anything available. And 5, add distance and terrain complexity if possible. Now, I also know what you're asking yourself after I just explained the 5 steps on what to do to break contact. Now you need the tools to make breaking contact just a little bit easier. And these are the tools that I use. Smokes, you got 3 types. You got your grenades, your eagles, your orbitals. You got your fast recon vehicle, also known as the FRV. You have the Lift 850 jump pack, the Lift 860 hover pack, the experimental infusion, stamina booster, and the good old-fashioned foliage, terrain, and environment. Now, my recommendation is pick the right tools for the mission at hand. If you know you're going to the city, foliage, terrain, and environment. Plus the use of smokes if you got them. If you know you're going to the woods, field, terrain, environment, and the use of smokes if you have them. If you know there's going to be lots of flat, open ground, field, foliage, terrain, environment, the FRV, and smokes if you got them. Essentially, the recommendation is to practice using foliage, terrain, and environment to break the line of sight from the enemy, because every mission has foliage, terrain, and environment, and it's free, and you don't even have to bring it. Because foliage, terrain, and environment are all free, that means you should have been using it to begin with, but it's not necessarily intuitive on how to do it. Foliage, terrain, and environment. What is that? Foliage is the plants that you find along the map. The terrain is the hills, the valleys, the cliffs, the other landmarks that you find on the map, and the environment is the non-organic things placed there, either by the automatons, humans, bugs, whomever. So, now that I've explained what foliage, terrain, and environment are, I'm just going to abbreviate that to FTE for short, and just kind of put up a little pop-up that kind of, in case you forget. Now, before I get too far into the weeds with random definitions and things like that, let's go back to step 1 of breaking contact. So, Helldiver, you've just completed an objective for the mission you're currently doing, and you need to get to the next one. Now this is where breaking contact comes into play. Now, take a moment, scan around you. Do you see an avenue of escape that is empty of enemies? If so, if you have a smoke, throw one between you and the enemy and start to run towards that escape route. And while you're running towards that escape route, you want to add terrain complexity if at all possible. You want to vault over things, whether those are fences, boxes, or whatever, because that kind of confuses the pathing of the enemies trying to track to you. If there's building rubble, try and go through there if at all possible, and it's not going to slow you down or get you killed. So, use the FTE to your advantage to break the line of sight. So now, you've broken line of sight. And breaking contact is still not done, because the enemy's still chasing you. So you need to continue to use the FTE to your advantage to continue to add complexity and distance between you and the last known enemy. And while you're running, you're probably gonna run into a patrol or two while you're in the middle of breaking contact. Don't shoot. Use the FTE to make sure that they don't see you if possible. And then you just rinse and repeat the 5 steps of breaking contact as needed until you get to the next objective. And now, I also know what you're thinking. This only works in a perfect world. And you're right, it does. However, the steps are the same, and you add things that you need to do to them as needed. So if you are surrounded, and there is no easy way out, now's the time to call in your big booms to soften up a side of the enemy so you can escape. Whether that's an Eagle 500 or my personal favorite, oops, all orbitals, and then that should clear up enough of a path for you. But, to each their own on that front. But anyways, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and cut this off here, because I could honestly ramble hypothetical situations where you would need to break contact all day, and I don't think that it is conducive to your time to listen to that, or conducive to mine in making that. So anyways, I hope this was helpful. Hey everybody, this is R2 just kind of stepping in here at the end of editing. I'm leaving this stuff in at the end just because it's a pretty good example. Like, there's a couple of good examples in here of when we should have broken contact. That's the video, part of the video you're watching now. And other examples of where I have effectively broken contact.
Down a support weapon! Countdown complete. We have to leave now. Extraction complete. Pelican 1 beginning ascent.
You secured a lot of samples. Well done.